Studios this morning. Alonzo Pennington, everybody knows the name, and he's the guitar man extraordinaire. And Alonzo is a Democratic candidate for U.S. Congress. Good morning.
Running for the United States House of Representatives. I believe this is the first time I've been in the studio here and not had something to do with solely just music.
I was kind of thinking, well, is he going to bring his guitar or not? Because I've seen some pretty cool, songs and stuff out there that you've kind of implemented into your campaign here.
Well, you got to use what you got, and music has been my number one thing. So that's always going to have to be part of whatever I'm doing. But we've written some songs, and my campaign manager Eric Allen and he also plays saxophone and harmonica in my band. So it's worked out really well. We get together and we write some of these songs and some parodies off other songs. I didn't think about bringing the guitar because it's always hard to sing this early in the morning.
And you got the rag top. You could have thrown it in there, but you didn't want the sun to maybe hit it too hard.
That's what it was.
But let's talk just a second, because we were talking off air. I mean, I was kind of blown away when you made this announcement. A lot of folks know who you are. You're an outdoorsman. You work real hard on your heavy equipment. And of course you're a gigging musician. But let's talk. Why don't you just start by just telling the folks? I know that most people know you, but you might give tell folks about yourself, because they might not know you, and listen, and then just What got you on?
I'll tell you, this is something I've thought about doing for a long time, and I thought about running for other offices. I looked around Caldwell County at one point last year, and I think it's time for me to run for something. I thought about magistrate. I even thought about maybe the next time when mayor comes around trying to run for mayor. But honestly, we've got a lot of great people that make great local candidates that know more about what's going on in our local community right here, physically and things than I do. That would be a big learning curve, and which would maybe even be a larger learning curve than where I'm at running for the United States House of Representatives. The good thing about where I'm running now, the issues are out there and everybody gets to see them. It touches all communities across our country. So there's nothing hidden, and it's all in different media sources that you can go out and look and educate yourself. But I've always followed national politics and always been a part of that. Especially, I guess I got started really following national politics in the Kerry and Bush campaign.
Right
back in 2003 or 4, somewhere around there. And so I've always kind of kept up with it through there. And this time, when it came around, I knew the guy that had signed up to run, Sam Gaskins, a really smart guy and one of the best people I've met thus far that goes through and can analyze policy and look at these bills and the way they're written, that lingo that the people that don't read it every day comes off as, how do you understand this? And he was a good candidate. He was a smart candidate. And due to some health reasons, back a week before the deadline to file, he decided and announced that he wasn't going to run. And that hit me like a ton of lead in my belly. Ty, it just said, this is it. This is what you're being called to do. And I believe in being motivated from other sources, from people call it a spirit talking to you and things like that. And I believe that I'm in touch with that side of myself. And I believe it had to be the perfect storm for me to be able to run and for things to be successful. And they are. Things are going really successful. We're everywhere I go, they're talking about what we're doing here. And so it had to be all the stars had to align just right, and they did.
Right.
And that's why I really believe we're going all the way with this thing. It came as a shock to a lot of people.
It did, and and not that that this is, in my mind, a story about anybody can go. If you're a U.S. citizen, if you go and represent.
My opponent
represent
talks about qualifications, but really the only qualifications are you've got to be I think 27, 28 years old, and be a U.S. citizen for so many years, and be a resident from where you're trying to run.
Yeah.
There's your qualifications, and your qualifications to get elected are a little different, that make you electable. And I think the fact that people have known me and know my family through music, and I'm not somebody that's just appeared that my opponents will be able to just say, oh, he's this and he's that, because fortunately, people know me, and I've been pretty transparent and a pretty open book, and my entire life, I've kind of, as a musician, you're always in the public eye, so I've always kind of lived my life like a politician and make sure I dot my I's and cross my T's.
Right.
And so it's a great experience.
Well, tell us about it now, and I'm going to preface this, and I've tried to preface this beforehand. This is more of a meet the candidate kind of thing here that we're doing. It's just not a grilling, asking questions. It's your time.
Okay.
To talk. So, I am interested though, and of course you come in here unscripted. I dig that. I mean, you just off the top, right off the cuff, and what comes to your mind. And I think that works great.
This whole time from the day I announced. I haven't gone in with a speech. I haven't gone in with anything. I just go up. I speak from my heart, speak from my gut, and say here's what I feel and here's what I believe, and that's transparency in itself, that people can see that what I'm doing is genuine.
Yeah, and that's what comes to me. Like I said, this is not a grilling question answer kind of thing, but I want you to speak to, if I can, just. You said you looked around and you saw things, and I saw, especially during the legislative session just in Frankfort, you were very vocal and active.
Absolutely.
As far as backing teachers and that kind of thing. But at the federal level, things that might come up at the federal level that you would be maybe speak of it. And not necessarily issues, but
to me, some of that goes back into being able to have collective bargaining for everyone.
Yeah.
I believe that our teachers and people like that should be able to go in and collectively bargain for their pensions and for their pay and things like that and their benefits. But really, this has been a war on working class people from when Governor Bevin signed in the right to work laws that cut everything from the usefulness of our unions and things like that that protect our workers and things like that. To going down to trying to cut the prevailing wage, where we're spending federal money on these roads and stuff, but they have the option to go in and underbid that, and so there's not that whole that reference to go back and look at. This is what paid here and here and here, so this is where we need to be. So you're getting, I believe you get what you pay for, and
right.
And if we're out there paying wages that are low, you're not going to get good people that are good at those jobs to go do them. You're going to get. They don't want me out there making the road. Because I'm not qualified, not trained for it, and that's why we have to have the things like the prevailing wage, and that's why we need to get back and get away from those right to work laws. A lot of that stuff it's hard on the working people, and I was proud to go stand on the Capitol steps 4 times during this session with our teachers, and we took our whole big band sound system, set it up on the Capitol steps, got up there, sang songs. Secretary Grimes and Attorney Bashir, they both came out and spoke and addressed the crowd. 10,000 people out there, and to be a part of a movement like that's widespread across our state, much less it's happening all over the country, that really made me proud to be a Kentuckian.
Sure.
That made me proud to stand up next to all these other working class people and say, hey, we're going to fight for the things that we deserve, and we're gonna make sure that we leave a place for our children and our grandchildren that they can be proud to call home.
Yeah,
it's and I don't know how else to put it other than it's an economical war on working class people.
What have you learned through this campaign thus far about politics, about the issues? What are some of the things you've observed? Man, I didn't know how that worked, or what you got any aha moments to share?
I had a pretty good grasp on things that were going on beforehand, but now that I do this all day, every day, I've really learned a lot of these things in detail, whether it's our environmental policies or trying to figure out what can we do to save all these coal miners that are losing their jobs. In the end, we just want to be happy here in our part of the state, and the first congressional district runs all the way from Ballard and Graves County, Fulton County, all the way to Casey and Adair County. It's 300 miles across, and it's 35 counties. And you actually have to go out of the district to get back into the district. It comes down about 20 miles south of Bardstown.
Wow.
So it's a long way across there.
It is, yeah.
And at some point, I've been through every single county. And and meeting people left and right along the way that they're just really tired of the same old, and the same system, that the same corrupt system that keeps going in, and where it only benefits the uber wealthy. And I'm not talking Princeton or Caldwell County wealthy. I'm talking Koch brothers. I'm talking, that big kind of, that real top 1% in our country. And they're the ones that get all the benefits, and they continue to put the tax burden and everything else that we need to pay for in this country on the shoulders of guys like me and you. Guys like and ladies like people here in Princeton that go out and work, folks that work at Bremner. We're the ones that pay the most on our taxes. We pay the biggest percent, and I don't think that's fair. I think that it should be a more equal system. Mm-hmm. It's and that's part of the biggest part of what I'm going to do is I'm trying to fight for what's fair. I'm trying to fight for what's ours.
Right.
We're good people. I've been all over this country, and I've never met better people and never had been in a better landscape. Everything about where we are, mm-hmm. I absolutely love it. We're lucky to be where we are, because there's the amount of culture has brought us together as a group of people, and it doesn't matter if we're Democrats or Republicans.
Right.
In the end, we care about people here. We care about each other, just like, when you see somebody here in town that's especially someone that's a youth and they're sick, and we can see why we put their names up around town. We try to lift them up in our community and lift their spirits and lift their families up in prayer and things like that. Those are important. Those are important values to us.
Right.
And we're good people, Ty, and we deserve better. And that's been kind of my campaign slogan this whole way.
I've heard that a lot from you.
We deserve better than what we've been getting.
What do you say to those that say that Washington's the place where good people go to get corrupt?
Well, they have sent some good people there, and they have been corrupted. Mm-hmm. And corruption is our leading.
And I don't mean that quite the way it sounds, but you get up there, and it's one of those.
Well,
you're going to go up there and change the world.
They can't do anything. And I think a lot of that's because when they go, they feel like they have to stick and just follow absolutely everything that the party line tells them. Well, the party didn't ask me to run. No one asked me to run. I woke up that day and said, I'm going to
go do it.
It's calling me. I'm going to go do it. For one, other than what do I have to lose? If nothing else, I've gone out and hadn't been able to have a voice to talk about the things that are really disturbing the people of our district. Yeah. The things that are making us unhappy, and talk about the things we need. So even in November, if I don't beat James Comer, if he steps up and starts doing the things that I'm talking about, like he kind of has just started doing here in the last couple of weeks, mm-hmm. then I'm doing my job. I'm doing what I set out to do. It's not always about winning everything. It's about making our points known and understanding that, hey, we deserve better.
Yeah.
And if you don't give it to us, we're going to kick you out of office. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm here, because if he doesn't get us better and doesn't get us the things we need, we're going to kick him out of office. We're going to send me to Washington. And when I'm there, I'm going to do what I can, and I'm not going to spend a lifetime in Washington. Right. Western Kentucky is my home, and I intend on getting back here. And but I will, people ask all the time about term limits and things like that, and I'm all for that. It's hard to put a number on it, because if you've got somebody in there, a representative, that even if they've been in there for 20 or 30 years, they're still accurately representing their district, and their district is happy with them, I guess they should still be allowed to be there. But then you get the ones that are causing, all the turmoil and all the divide in the party and things like that, someone like Mitch McConnell or Jamie Comer, then, they're not benefiting anyone but themselves. That's big corporate money and big corporate donors from out of state and big lobbyists that are coming in and buying them so they vote on particular laws and things that benefit their own pocketbook. And that's just not right, and that's not fair. When we can get into where we can overturn Citizens United, which allows, and for those that don't know, Citizens United allows these big super PACs to come in and just dump gobs and gobs of money in these politicians' pockets. I looked up in the first quarter alone, Congressman Comer has done zero campaigning, yet somehow raised $500,000 in the first quarter alone. Well, and you can go on the FEC website, the Federal Election Commission website, and see all these. And I'll just tell you, I raised about $5,500. So there's.
And you're doing it on that.
there's a big gap in what we're going up against. But I'm not doing this to try to raise money. Even when we have our events, I'm not going out and say, this is a fundraiser and do the whole preach thing. We need your money and we need your help here in this. That's not my main focus. My main focus, if you want to help us, tell your friends. Forward our Facebook posts. We can do this and we can win this election without that great big money. And I want to, because I want to show the rest of the country that it can be done. You know, there are a lot of guys and ladies like me all across the country that, you know, I've met along the way here that are running in the same type of grassroots platform that I am. The same type of get the money out of politics system. Now, you got to have money to be able to cover your expenses. And granted, we spend every dime we take in because it's expensive to get out there. Yard signs are crazy expensive. But advertising and things like that. But it's important. You do have to have that kind of stuff. Right. But fortunately, I started out with a pretty good head start of name recognition. So
yeah, that seems to help.
Hopefully that saved our campaign and our donors a little bit of money.
As you head down to this last week, what are your plans as far as from between now and primary Tuesday?
You know, we're getting out, we're knocking on doors, and I've got people in each little area that are going out and all across our district and
saying, got a little network of folks.
Yeah, and you know, we're going out and we've started out having flyers, and we went down to the door knocker things, and now we're just going around with business cards, just so people remember the name and remember. And like, oh, yeah, we saw him on Facebook. He's got that music video about We Deserve Better, about the teachers and all their pension issue.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so people remember that kind of thing. And
you're hitting the entire district, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's about 720,000 people in our district.
Wow.
That's registered
and that's
people from the 2010 census.
And that's an awesome responsibility to potentially represent.
It is. I don't take that lightly. You know, it's congressman's more than just a title. It's just more than something fancy to talk about. It's a voice for these 720,000 people, someone for them to come to or call your office and say, hey, we need this over here. You know, we need help with this. Why do our roads look like this? You know, and things like that. And my door will be open. My door will be open to my friends and my people here, because that's who we are. We're all friends, and we're all people that care about one another. And this whole district is the same kind of mindset. And we've been closed off, and Jamie Comer has alienated himself from us. He doesn't return emails. He sends, you know, people tell me all the time how they've sent him an email, asked him a specific question on something. They get some kind of generic reply and never hear anything from him. Well, I promise that I will be available to the people. I promise that I will be open ears and ready to listen. I may not always like everything everybody has to say, and I'll be honest with you. I'm a pretty straightforward guy, so I'll tell them, say, look, I don't think that's going to work, and here's why. But I will never be rude and never be one of those divisive politicians that say, we're not working with them, they're Republicans and not to die. And I think part of our political problem is we're not getting things done. You know, you see everybody talks about, oh, the government's going to shut down again. Well, why is it shutting down? It's because we don't have people in there that are ready to work. It takes work. It's, you know, they say a marriage is work. Well, it's the same thing. You know, your partners in politics are the other side, and you have to work together to get a compromise down the middle to make things happen.
Yeah.
And I'm tired. I am sick and tired, just like most Americans are, that we're not getting the things done that we deserve. You know, why are we having a stupid government shutdown, and why are they wanting a shutdown? And regardless of what side it is, get in there and work together. You know, we pay them enough money. We give them good benefits, good health plans. So all these politicians, there's no reason for them to come out of Washington until we have a budget that's solid. And we can, you know, make a compromise to where we're not going through this silly crap every few months.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I mean, like I said, when I heard you announce to run, I didn't see it. But now that I've kind of watched on Facebook and followed, I'm seeing it. You know,
I still occasionally have people come. At first, it was way more than this, but you know, people come and say, "Is that a joke? Are you really?" I'm like, "No, that's not a joke. I'm running." Well, why are you running? And I thought that's for doctors and lawyers and people that studied political science and not the time. I'm like, no, this is government. This is government for the people, by the people.
All right.
You know, we're people. Why don't you run?
And what about your parents?
Oh, they're all in.
Okay.
That's, you know,
and your children and everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they're loving it.
Absolutely. It's an amazing experience, Ty.
When is your next event? Where are you heading from here?
We are. Let me see. Tonight, I'm speaking at one of the labor halls in Paducah.
Okay.
and the NAACP meeting. Tomorrow night's daddy-daughter date night, so we'll probably go down to the Capitol Cinemas or something cool like that.
Yep, got to throw those in there.
And Thursday night, we're having an event here in Princeton over at the Crooked Tail.
Okay.
And it's a meet the candidate jam. I've called these meet and greets kind of jam with the candidates because I want
somebody's got an instrument, come on up and jam with you.
That's right. I want to encourage people to come out and play and sing and we're going to talk politics along the way. But part of that is people need to be entertained these days. You know, you see people. There's a reason people walk down, looking at their phone all the time because they're constant in need of entertainment. That's just the way our culture has developed. And I'm not dogging that because social media and things have created a lot of good business and stuff for other people, and it's a good way to promote your business and things. But people have this need to be entertained, and part of that along with wanting something and someone that was out of the system is why we elected Donald Trump to be president. For one, he was entertaining, he kept people interested. For two, he was not part of the system. So my policies are not like his.
Right.
But I understand how he got elected, and that's because people are tired of the same old thing. Mm-hmm. We're tired of being told this one little bitty thing and then just supposed to accept it without looking into it. And we're just ready for a real change here. Mm-hmm. We're ready for people that are like us. That's what I wanted. I wanted somebody that was like me in Washington.
Right.
That understands what it's like to work 3 jobs, go out and get your hands dirty, and cherish what little time you get to spend with your family because you spend all your time working, trying to make ends meet and make sure they have the things they need.
Right.
We don't have that kind of representation. Right now, we've got a guy who's uber rich, living off of daddy's money, and his campaign's funded by another uber rich politician. And until we can get people like that out of office and elect people with the mind frame like myself that are doing this just because we're tired of the system and we're doing this for no other reason other than to make sure that we're getting the things that we deserve.
Right.
And until we can start electing people all across the country, and it's really going to start this midterm. It is. I see it everywhere. Look at
as in your travels and
absolutely.
Yeah. You think,
but all across the country, you can look at look at the race up there with Paul Ryan's race, Speaker Ryan. Randy Bryce and I are endorsed by the same. We're a couple of the 12 that are endorsed by the People's House Project. And they endorse Grassroots Campaign. Well, they have done such a good job up there that they scared Paul Ryan plumb out of his election committee, and now he's not running.
Yeah.
And the guy, he's an iron worker, and he's just a regular guy. But he's one of the most popular grassroots candidates across the country. He and another guy from West Virginia named Richard Ojeda. Mm-hmm. There's so many of us that are from these rural areas that realize that we hadn't been getting our fair share.
Cool. Well, man, best of luck to you. How do folks get in touch with you if they want to talk to you between now and the primary? Of course, you've got this meet and greet down at Crooked Tail Thursday night, you said.
Thursday night
That's a good place to
8 o'clock.
To see you. What about social media platforms, anything like that? How do folks
you can find us, Alonzo Pennington for Congress, on Facebook.
Okay.
And or visit our website. It's Pennington for KY, FORKY at the end of that.
Okay.
And .com.
Okay.
And visit us there. We do need the monetary contributions and things like that. But if you're not in the position to do that but want to help, we need you just as bad. We need people out there handing out business cards and knocking on doors and talking to your neighbors. And there's a good way to sign up on there and get you in touch with the rest of our committee and people that are
Pennington for Congress.
PenningtonforKY.com.
Pennington for KY. PenningtonforKY.com. Okay.
And that'll get you our website. But I'm pretty easy to find. I'm very transparent. I answer all my questions on Facebook myself. I don't have a social media team like everybody else does. I go in and do it myself because I want to be hands-on and I want to talk to people. That's what this job is. It's about talking to people and relating to folks.
Awesome.
And Ty, I sure appreciate you having me in today.
I mean, best of luck to you. I think it's awesome. I mean, again, I was just kind of blown away when I saw you stand up there on those steps and say, "Hey, I'm Alonzo Pennington. I'm running for Congress."
And a lot of people were, because it's not been the norm of people from my background to go and do this when it can be. Right. You know, we've been led to believe that this has only been a spot just for the elitists. Now, don't get me wrong. We need doctors and we need lawyers and people like that. But, gosh, ain't we got enough of them already? At the time, we had some just regular working-class people that are making these decisions that affect working class.
Well, everybody it's a great learning experience. It's part of how we do things. It's a process of our government. Everybody ought to run at least once.
Absolutely.
It's a heck of an experience. And so best of luck to you, man. And as you move forward, it'll be here in 7 days. We'll know.
That's right. I'm ready for this primary. I'm ready to. I feel very confident in the primary, and I'm ready to get past it and start working towards the real election.
That's awesome. Good luck, and thank you for being here today. Appreciate your time. I know you're busy, and see you out there on the trail, I guess.
Yeah, come see us at Crooked Tail.
All right. That's Thursday night, by the way. What time?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. All right. Well, I've had the pleasure of having two candidates in studio today. My thanks to Judge Executive Ellen Dunning of Caldwell County. She was here earlier. Of course, both these interviews will be uploaded to the WPKY website. My thanks to Alonzo Pennington. He's Democratic candidate for Congress in the 1st District of Kentucky. From right here in Princeton. Yeah, and so that's awesome. Hometown boy here. So be sure you check out the upload. If you missed this interview or catching the tail end to it, it'll be on WPKYonline.com. Thank you so much. Have a good day. All right, that's going to wrap up this edition of Tiger Talk here in your hometown.